just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Pack Her Up, boys. Look, I'm excited. You know why I'm excited? Because A, the Olympics has been incredible, but B, I'm going over to Perth for UFC.
Let's go.
I'm going over Israel Adesanya for Duplessis. It doesn't get much better. When you talk about rivalries, I'm trying to think. Rivalries in the UFC right now, what's more personal?
Nah, there's nothing more personal.
That's, you've obviously got your DC John Jones, that's done, because obviously DCE retired ages ago. You've got personal ones, but I don't reckon anyone as personal as this one.
Nah.
And I reckon this brings the best out in Izzy. Surely.
I can't wait for this fight. It's been the build-up's been ages, and
Mate, it cannot be more personal than the argument that they are having right now, and they've had since day dot, about truly being from Africa, blah blah blah. That is the core of personal. That's more personal than insulting family members almost, to a degree.
That's been said.
Yeah, because you're talking about the core of their being. Oh man. So yeah, I'm heading over. KO sending him over. Absolutely. Thank you so much, KO. But mainly, thank you so much to you guys that listen to the podcast. KO doesn't approach me if it wasn't for everyone that listened to this podcast. That's why I get the privilege of being able to go do these things, because of the audience that listens to the potty. So thanks so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. They've actually, KO have given me some plush dolls. UFC, think twit with the studio. How good? Little belt. How good? Little plush doll thing. So yeah, heading over there, pumped as. And it's about a 5-hour flight, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got me in business though, so I'm stoked.
Stop.
Yeah, stop. It's seriously when they flew me over in business into the Tim Zoo one, I was just this is a Gia. I'm getting flown in business to something that I feel grateful to even be there.
Was that your first business flight?
Honeymoon was my first business flight. That was actually, no, I take that all back. The first business flight I ever had, and I've told this story before, the New Zealand Warriors, when they were trying to sign me, flew me over in business.
It hits different. It's hard to go back.
Look, you're a 20-year-old kid getting wine and dine like that, and you'd never even business to you is just crazy. But the funny thing is, they flew me over in business. They flew me back in economy. But genuine, long, business or whatever, that would have been 15 years ago. Then the most recent one was going over to Europe for my honeymoon in business, which was so good.
Game changer.
It's genuine game changer. Flew back in economy though, because just too expensive. But yeah, then we went Tim Zoo in business, sick. Going to Perth in business, because it's a 5-hour trip.
Yeah.
If it was 3, I would have just said, don't worry about it. There's no point. But 5-hour trips are pretty fair whack. And also, I fly back as soon as the fight finishes, and I've got to wake up the next morning and do a 4-hour potty. So I was like, man, I don't
Fly back overnight, eh?
No, because they're a bit behind.
They're behind, yeah.
So they actually the fight finishes in the Arvos.
Oh.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, it would, because it's all got to be on American time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because it starts normally. I'll have to check though, but I'm pretty sure. Could you check main event? Go to mainevent.com.au, which is also KO. It'll tell you what time the card starts. I think it usually starts either 10 or 12 o'clock, the main card.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which would be 8 o'clock their time, which means that Israel and they'll actually be fighting probably around 12 o'clock their time, about 3 o'clock, 3:30 our time.
Yeah, the main cards. The main cards at 3. At 12.
Yeah, that makes sense.
At 12 our time.
Sydney time.
And how far? Can you check how far Perth's behind? I think it's 2 hours.
2 or 3.
Might even be 3.
Yeah, it might be 3 actually.
And so the fight will actually finish at I think 1.
So it's 10:30 there now. So yeah, they're 2 hours behind.
They're 2 hours behind. So the fight will probably done by 1:30 their time. My flight's 3:30.
Sunday, yeah?
Sunday, yep. So my flight's 3:30. So I'll be back by about 10 o'clock at night.
Big day. There'll be some loose units getting around Perth by Sunday night.
mate. But it's the Aussie loose units. That's what we love. I love, you know what? I love, other people go, Aussie bogans and that. I fucking love Aussie bogans. They're fucking our Aussie, but that's us. Fucking, that's us. That's mad. If
UFC comes to Australia, I'd fucking turn it on, boys.
They turn it on, boys. That's us. I love that shit. Blokes, Aussie blokes, it's the best.
And I love they jam the card full of Aussies and Kiwis.
Yeah, it's mad. I never get that. That whole, people that live in cities that turn their nose up at like Bathurst and that. Like, I love that shit. When I see blokes roll around in budgies drinking piss and like drinking beers and that with the Australian flag,
Shoeies,
I
let's go.
love that shit. I love that shit. And I never understood city people that are like, oh, like how crass. It's like, fuck off. That's like, Aussie blokes are mad.
I get the Sydney problem more than anything because no one hates other.
Melbourne's worse.
Well,
Melbourne turn their nose up way more at that
They
stuff.
do for sure, but Melbourne they collectively turn their nose up. Whereas Sydney people, like the east versus the north versus the Shire versus the west, everyone's just infighting with each other.
Yeah. But anyway, I love that shit. I think it's hilarious, and I think it's and you know what? I'll tell you where the best fun is at that stuff. That's where the best fun is.
100%.
Not at some little dinner party, a little bar,
And a big event, UFC coming to Perth. People make like a proper trip of it, you know?
Yeah. Israel Adesanya versus Duplessis.
You're backing Israel?
Unbelievable. I'm backing him. I reckon his loss to Strickland, he was over it.
Yeah, I agree.
I know Strickland's a high quality striker, but it
wasn't the same.
I just don't believe that Strickland at his best and Israel is best, that Israel's not a better fighter. I refuse to believe that. And you know, maybe it's purely copium. I don't know, but I just think a fully motivated Israel is a substantially better striker and combat sportsman than Sean Strickland. Don't get me wrong, what Sean Strickland did was incredible. Like, I'm not taking nothing away from it.
Yeah, he's solid.
But like anyone that's played sport, you have to understand, when you've been the champ for as long as Israel had, you're going to lose motivation eventually. And I reckon I would be shocked beyond belief if Israel isn't fully focused against Duplessis.
Yeah, I don't think the motivation was there, and I do think he probably didn't take it as serious as he needed to.
He didn't respect Sean Strickland's skill set, because Sean Strickland's skill set is good.
Yeah, and it's awkward. You can't. It's not a fight where you can come in and just play to win the belt. Like it's just, you're not going to get it done. But mate, this one's, like you said, it's personal. Surely he's coming out to just fucking dominate.
And also that with Sean Strickland, you've got to have cardio for. You've either got to be Pereira.
He presses you the whole time.
Exactly. You've got to be Pereira, who can just lights out him and just, because like if you go back and watch that Pereira fight, Pereira just said, you're going to walk straight forward, I'm just going to knock you out with a mad left hook.
Yeah.
Or you've got to be Duplessis, who has a hectic tank. Because Strickland doesn't really have knockout power, but he just keeps walking forward. And fighting on the back foot is way harder than fighting on the front foot for a lot of fighters. Ironically, though, if there's one fighter that's good at fighting on the back foot, it's Strickland, because he's such a good. It's Israel, because he's such a good counter striker. Yeah. I don't think he took it as seriously. I don't think he was as motivated. Whereas Duplessis, I think he's 100% motivated. I'd be shocked if Israel isn't so dialed in this. Yeah. I'd be very shocked.
I think it's gonna be a tough fight. I honestly think it's gonna be a cracker.
It's going to crack a fight, because Duplessis, what he lacks in, like, what would be the word, like conventional technique.
Yeah, he's definitely not as sharp.
Yeah, he makes up for in crazy cardio and willingness to risk. Like, he will put his chin out there. Yeah. He'll take one to give one.
Throw a bomb.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to fuck around either. I think there'll be a time in the fight where he does what he needs to do. Like, he'll take him down, he'll wrestle.
Oh, yeah. He won't try and... His ego won't get the best of him, where he's like, you know what, I'm going to stand kickboxing distance away from Israel and try to outstrike him. Mate, it makes me so mad when I see fighters do that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I get it. Your ego has gotten you where you're at. But I'm like, bro, who gives a fuck if you're better than them in their specific thing? The only thing that matters is winning.
Who's going out with the belt?
Like,
who gives a shit?
When I used to see fighters going with Conor McGregor when he was at his best and try and stand with him, you're just going, what are you doing, bro? Like,
and part of that is you feel like he almost baits
him into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like, bro, this is what he wants. All you have to do with Conor McGregor is last 2 rounds, and then you will finish him in the third or fourth. Like, he has no cardio. He initially did have cardio at 145. He just fucking lost it. And so, when I used to see that, I'd be like, why are you standing with Conor McGregor, who that's his bread and butter? Like, that's what he wants you to do. And so, I agree with you, mate. I reckon Duplessis doesn't give a shit about like ego, but he just wants to win.
Yeah.
And so I reckon he's going to be going for takedowns. He's going to be changing levels constantly, making Israel second guess. It's going to be a cracker fight.
Like you said, a new evolved version of Izzy, highly motivated. Like, I'm excited to fucking see that.
I hope he is. I hope he is.
He has to be.
Like, why would you come back?
Nah.
Because he basically retired. And he's like, legacy can't get cushioned.
Everything that he said, everything that he's created in terms of that personal fucking war.
Mate, 100%. Oh, also, Fletcher Baker from the Broncos. He sent me some perfume. He has his own little perfume company.
Hey.
Nefertum. 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 Sent a little perfume. Fletcher Baker from the Broncos. Currently injured. He's a forward. He's currently injured. But
Looks nice.
Hey, look at this. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Nefertum.
It's got to be the first, doesn't it?
That's the first
We've
time
seen it all, but NRL player
an
going
NRL
to the
player's
perfume.
never gone into
the aftershave.
Since aftershave.
Yeah.
There you go. Fletcher Baker. Get on it. Nefertum. But yeah, I thought I'd give a quick shout out. Always love the boys trying to do stuff like this. Anyway, how you been, bros?
Good, brother, mate. Just balls deep in the Olympics as usual. So much going on.
So good.
It's the best.
Especially track. Like, I'm a track man. Track and field for me, bro. It hits about 5:55 when track and field starts for the last week. I'm putting it on and it's on for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
I'm not looking away.
100%. The only thing I struggle with sometimes is like, what's going on where? You know what I mean?
See, you got to go into the 9 app.
Yeah.
And it literally just says athletics. And you just click on that, and that just it doesn't cut away to any other sports.
I got sucked in on just the main channels.
No,
that's trash.
All, the main channel's shit because it all it is replaying shit that happened 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago. If you go to the actual channels, like where it's on, you're getting live feeds. Live feeds. Have you been watching? What about you?
I took the plunge and got Stan Sports. I'm probably going to cancel it after the Olympics finishes, but it's been the best thing ever. To be honest, like the way I've heard you speak about the 9 app, it sounds pretty similar.
I'd assume it would be.
Yeah.
Because that would just be getting fed to Stan.
Yeah, exactly. So I probably didn't need to, but it's been great. It's just there for you. You can click on whatever you want at any time. I'm actually pretty spewing that it's finishing up in a few days.
I can't believe I'm Devo. And you know what's crazy is, 6 months ago when the Olympics is coming up, I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, Olympics, like I'm kind of, I don't know why. I don't know why I do this every single time. Well, I'm kind of over the Olympics. Who cares? And then Olympics arrives. It's the best.
You can't beat it.
You
it's
literally
the best.
can't beat it. And you know what I reckon what's been so good about this Olympics is like we get spoon fed so much doom and gloom, like with our news and just everywhere. It's doom and gloom. The world's ending. And what's so good about the Olympics is you're seeing human beings at their best. Like you're seeing human beings have sacrificed everything going for greatness. And even if they don't reach greatness, you're still great. And I reckon that's what's been good about the Olympics, where people have really bought into it because, like, it's just happiness, it's goodness, it's no bullshit, it's no doom and gloom.
It's only positive.
It's just great athletes trying to be great, and even if they don't win, they come second, they come third. Even if they just like make a heat, they still made it to the Olympics, and it's people trying to be the best version of themselves.
What do you think about the 100, bro?
Oh, what, the men's or the women's?
Men's.
The men's, yeah. Look.
I mean, the women's incredible. Was gang stuff. How good for St. Lucia.
Amazing. The men's one, well, Lyle's for me, like, incredible athlete. And, like, I don't dislike any person. I don't know. He's not my cup of tea. Not because he's talks a lot. There's plenty of athletes that I love that, like, have a lot of banter and talk it up and, back themselves. He just comes across as inauthentic to me. To me, he seems like a dorky kid that's trying to be lippy and rah-rah. And so, like, you can see in moments, if you watch the Sprint documentary, you can see it like that's just, it's not him.
Yeah.
You can tell it's not him.
Yeah.
Like, but I will say he is an incredible athlete. Yeah. What a win. What a win. Crazy. And what's crazy is he's not even really a 100-meter runner. He's a 200-meter runner, gets COVID, gets the Rona, runs the bloody 200, comes third with it. Amazing
Ridiculous.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Now, the best thing about Noah Lyles is, though, hate him or love him, bring an ice to the sport.
Yeah.
And I think that, you hear the commentators speak about it a lot when you were watching the Olympics, is like they're almost getting to the point where UFC have gone where they just want athletes to just be lariats, just to get eyes to the sport.
100%. Do you see that Sydney McLaughlin, the 400-meter hurdle?
Oh, yes.
She's
broke her record again.
A joke. Every event leading up to the Olympics, like the last couple of years, champions, trials, she broke a world record every major event.
Yeah,
like, bro, that's ridiculous.
I tell you what, the women in track and field look like Amazonian warriors. Yeah. It's crazy how they look like weapons in the track and field. Absolute weapons. Like they could be on the next Marvel's Like if the Amazon Warriors. Like it's crazy.
So good.
So good. Yeah, she was incredible. Pole vault, our girl pole vault.
Also, though, and obviously not to veer away from Australia, but the Swedish pole vaulter that got the world record.
And he's broken it like 6 times.
That's so funny. It's so funny how he just goes up a little bit each time.
You look at the record and it's like, and it says like last 5 to 6 times it's been broken, and it's just his name, and then like 10 years, 20 years ago, another dude's name. Oh man, it's been so good. Our high jumpers, our pole vaulters, record amount of gold medals. And you know what I am finding though with athletics, especially probably the women's athletics, is a lot of them have massive followings on Instagram. Like I'm talking 120k, 140k, and a lot of us like haven't really heard about him. And I like when I see that, I get happy for them because I'm like, well, at least you get to make some money when it comes to like partnerships with brands and that on your Instagram. Think about back in the day when there was no social media. If you're a professional athlete, you're on nothing. You're on peanuts. You're literally struggling to pay the rent. Whereas a lot of these athletes now have huge followings, and they would be getting brand deals, and rightly so. Like they deserve. Like, you know what? If I'm a brand like let's say I've got a protein powder, I'm way rather sponsoring an Olympic athlete than a gym junkie. Like, there's athlete, there's gym junkie,
especially around the Olympics.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you see Matt Denny has a mural painted on the back of his local pub?
Oh, that's good.
It's just like
he's a legend.
Yeah,
he is an absolute legend. Won bronze.
Yep.
He came 4th last time. I think he's got his own little podcast too. I actually tried to get him on the podcast years and years ago, and it fell through. But when they all get back, I'm going to try and start doing the potty again. And
after about week 1, I just start getting into any sport.
Anything.
Oh, that's the best part.
Best.
Yeah, that's the best part about it.
I was watching speed climbing the other day.
Bro, that
is sick.
You know what's insane is like the first time you watch speed climbing, you're thinking it's like an optical illusion. You think that cord is pulling them up. That's what I thought anyway. And then you've got to realize, hang on a sec, that's just a safety cord. They're just bounding up that wall. Like, it's crazy.
They must know the line of the rock climbing, surely. I did it for gladiators, and it took me about 40 seconds to get 2 meters.
Mate.
It was an absolute joke.
And
the line ain't pulling you, I'll tell you that much.
And they are just like, they take, a 15-meter wall, and they get, it's 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Go to YouTube, watch some highlights of it, guys. That speed climbing is crazy. It's actually crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're missing some people. One of our Aussie boys, I think he made the semi-finals for the 800 metres. He actually follows bloke, so he's a mad dog. Yeah, like it's so good. 18 gold medals, and then obviously winning silvers and our bronzes. It has been unbelievable.
This was gangster, the Aussie crew who won the bike sprint, the indoor bike.
Just about to say that. Yeah,
isn't that a wild? Like 4 or 5Ks total, 4,000 meters, and just sprinting hellful over the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, and got 2 in the skateboarding.
It's legit insane how good Australia is per capita. Like, it's actually a joke.
That's what I was saying to Matt. I know we're a sporting nation, but bro, for our population, wow.
Like we're beating a lot of countries that literally have like double and triple our population. Double and triple our population.
Well, what is it? Cool. 18 golds, 25 million people. So what? One every 1.5 million people?
So good.
That's ridiculous.
So good. So yeah, it's been awesome. And as I said, I want to try to get back doing the interviews, guys, when the Aussie athletes get back. Hopefully they'll come on. Obviously, maybe they won't want to come on. So we'll definitely kick up the interviews again. Go back to old school where it all started. But yeah, the Olympics have been incredible. And as I said, don't forget, guys, I'll be heading over to the UFC in Perth next week. I leave Monday night and be doing a bunch of content while I'm over there. Be hopefully interviewing guys like Israel, Duplessis, Kai Pearce, Kai France, and also Ersurg. So they're fighting each other. Kai France. That is going to be a banger.
Good fight.
Someone's going out there.
Yeah, 100%.
Can't wait for that. So yeah, that's UFC Perth, guys. We'll have a link in the description. If you're going to grab the pay-per-view, make sure to use our link so you can show them, in the future, next UFC card, we get access to these big athletes by showing them that, going with the bloke community is the right way to do it. Now let's get into it. Sports bet, bloke multi. This bloke multi this week is the Legends multi, and this is what it is. The Aussie girls water polo, the Stingers, to win gold. Mackenzie Little medal of any colour in javelin. And Sean Johnson, anytime try scorer. that gets you $20. Ooh. $20. So Mackenzie Little, a medal of any colour in the javelin. The Aussie girls to win gold, who just beat the USA in a penalty shootout. And Sean Johnson to score any time. That gets you $20. So you go to NRL Weekly Feed on Sportsbet, and then you can copy it, or I'll have it up on my feed. Give us a follow on the Sportsbet feed, and you'll be able to copy that bet straight away. As always, a massive thank you to our friends over at Sportsbet. And don't forget, this week, the code, menu log code for free delivery is Fox. So free delivery, you just put in the code Fox, you'll get free delivery. Download the menu log app. If you're going to get food to your house, use menu log and use the code Fox. Get free delivery.
And it's funny, that we came up with that before her sister even did it. So now it's even better.
It's even better. Absolutely.
That family. Oh, they're the best.
Ridiculous.
Imagine the feeling like of euphoria. You've already won your own gold medal, and then your little sister wins a gold medal too. Like life couldn't get better. Like, what is better than that?
Nah.
It's amazing.
It's
amazing.
Matter of fact, you've already won 2 gold medals. Jess Fox had already won 2.
Yeah. That photo that went around maybe a year ago of Jess Fox, Pat Cummins, Nathan Cleary. She was holding a gold. Cleary was holding his Clive, and Cummins was holding his baggy green, all in Penrith kit. It was ridiculous.
And you know what's crazy? We've got the Olympics, and then we've got a massive cricket season coming up.
We do.
The year for sport has been outstanding. Outstanding. So good. Alrighty, Storm defeat the Rabbitohs in a very, I wouldn't say strange game, but almost a disappointing game for both parties. No. Rabbitohs, it's like,
game of 2 halves at least.
Yeah, definitely a game of 2 halves, because that second half of the Storm, they just said,
may as well turn it off, bro.
They just went, mate, let's just call the end of the game off. It's already over. Look, the positive for the Rabbitohs is they hung in there to a degree. They didn't get completely blown off the park. There's nothing to play for. So there's positives there for the Rabbitohs. With the Storm, I just think they're waiting for finals footy. I do want to see them put it together again before finals footy, but they did kind of seem like a team that was like, it's a long season. This game's in the bag. We're already ahead a lot. As I said, you want them to be ruthless. You want the foot on the neck, all that kind of stuff. But they also are human. So, in a perfect world, like if I'm going to be, let's say if I was a Storm fan, a very biased viewing of it would be at least they're not peaking too early right now. Like there is an argument to be had that like sometimes teams get to this point of the year and they're absolutely decimating sides and they peak too early. And matter of fact, Storm quite a few years ago did exactly that. They had record points. They won this. It was like 19 wins in a row, or whatever. It was
a record.
It was a record.
Equal record, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you wanted it to look at it from that light of like at least the Storm aren't peaking too early, that's a fair statement to make. Now we won't know that until the season is over because like obviously got to wait for results. So at the very least, they're not peaking too early, but they did lose to the Dragons last week. They did play really poorly in the second half against the Rabbitohs this week. You can't just ignore that. It still is a little bit worrying. I still have them absolutely as premiership threats. I still have them in the same tier as the Penrith Panthers, even though the Penrith Panthers, I think, are out and out favourites. But I'm sure it would be disappointing for Bellyache. Like, you don't necessarily need them to go out and just 60-0 or whatever, but it's just the level difference between their first half and their second half was like literally night and day.
Well, the spray would have been all the time.
Far out.
But it is a bit notorious for the Storm. Like you said, it's gone both ways before. They've had a ridiculous run into the finals and then tanked. But there's also been times when they've won the comp where they've actually struggled through this period. And Storm are notorious for pushing the players. They're training harder than ever, and they actually don't taper off until just before the finals. So you might be seeing a bit of that. The only thing for me is the Dragons loss, then this. Now, it would have just been nice for them to be, in some ways, in form, ready for this measuring stick game against the Panthers. Man, they don't have an easy run home, which could be a good thing as well. They got Dolphins, the 2 Queensland teams, and Penrith. But you lose to Penrith if they do, and then it's like, fuck.
Well, to dig a bit deeper in what you were just saying is like it is true that especially the Storm have a tendency to ramp up training around now.
Yeah, it's legit.
So that when they do hit finals, they drop off training and then they can kind of springboard into it. Yep. So there is a world where the players are a little bit more fatigued than they usually would because training has been ramped up. You'd speak more on it.
100%. And that's actually the case. Like, they do push them and then taper off those last couple of weeks. They'll rest players. So, there's a method to the madness. I just don't think, like, that second half, that's not a reflection of who they are and where they want to be. Next week will just be whether they win or lose. I think it'll be a great game, but you'd want to see Storm just show up and play Storm-like at the very least.
Yeah.
Do you think? I've seen a comment which I think is justified. How much of an impact do you think like a Munster coming back in is having on the team in terms of like a little bit of disruption? Obviously, he's a gun. We're not saying that, but for a long period of time.
We spoke about it last week, and I said before I knew the numbers, I said I felt like Harry Grant was a bit confused as to who to pass the ball to, and then we looked at the numbers. And it was one of his least touches Hughes had that year. And the only other game that they had lost, Hughes had also had a small amount of touches. And so I do think that's like, people don't give it like enough credit. Combinations take times. It's so hard. Like, even if you've already played together for a year or 2 years, if you don't play together for like 6 months or whatever, we'll say 10, 12 weeks. We'll say 12 weeks. And all of a sudden, Hughes is having a Dally M season.
Yeah.
Not just a normal season, he's having a Dally M season. It is going to be a bit weird when Munster comes back. And in regards to pecking order, Munster's at the top. Like, Munster's above Harry Grant. He's above everyone at the club when it comes to what they've achieved, blah, blah, blah. And so it is a very weird place to be in when you're Hughes and Grant, because Munster plays a certain way. And for, at the very least, the last few years, it's been Munster gets the ball when he wants the ball. Whereas this year, the argument is like, Hughes is probably the man this year. Like, and how do you find that balance? Maybe it is going to take a few weeks for them to kind of click into gear.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt the best case scenario is both of them firing, but I think there's some work to be done over the next few weeks just to figure out how do we rebalance this, because when Hughesy has rule of the roost and he's either going down his right side or it kind of goes to the left and comes back to him. Look at Hughes' first half. Look at what he sets up, just the first couple of plays. It's a joke, and he is their number one kicker in the game.
I think that right now he should win the Dally M.
Surely,
surely.
I don't think I'm pretty locked in as well.
How many games left? 4 or 5. Like, Cleary has been. He was pretty good his first game back. He had some lapses, but he had that match winner, and then he's had some good games. But like, even if Cleary does this for the next 4 games, I still think Hughes has been the best player of the whole season.
I think he has. I think Teddy will come close, but I reckon Hughes will win.
Surely Hughes has just been knocking off 3 points.
Surely, with Munster gone as well. And like,
he's a standout every game.
Well, it's 6 points now as well.
No.
So,
and he wasn't like way up there prior to going behind closed doors, was he?
I'd have to check.
I'll check.
Yeah, can you check?
But man,
surely he wins it.
You know what? But
he's been the best player this year, and I don't care what anyone says.
By a country mile.
I don't care who ends up winning it. In my opinion, he's been the best player for the longest amount of time this season.
You know what I was thinking? I was watching South, and like, they've got a lot of injuries, and it's probably not the best reflection with all the stuff they're going through with coaches. But what blows me away about the Storm, year on year, these players, not just players that come to the club, but the development of players. You look at guys like even Hughesy, he's gone from a cracker player, a New Zealand international, to Daily M. Then you got guys like Liero, Wishart,
Katoa,
the winger. Just had a
Anderson.
It's just like every year these guys just go crazy. Like, arguably Penrith kind of are doing that, but how massive is it every year to have like 3 to 4 players just develop into freaks?
Penrith are in their first generation doing that.
Yeah.
Melbourne are in like their friggin' 10th generation of doing that. Not 10th, but you know what I mean. They're in their like 3rd or 4th cycle of doing this kind of stuff. Whereas Penrith are in their first cycle of being this just powerhouse.
It's so underrated. I know players go to the Storm and that we say like average players become good, but the way that they develop players out of nowhere, young guys who aren't even first graders every year, there's a reason why they're at the top.
Edwards was leading on 31. Hughes was on 16. And like, I'm guilty of, because it's only recently gone to 6, I think last year, that seems like a bit of a gap, but it's only two games. 2 or 3 games. So
well, it's what was it? Just 31 and 16?
31 and 16.
It's about 3 games.
Yeah.
And Edwards has been injured for a bit. He's been injured for 3 or 4 games.
He's been out.
He's been out
twice now, I think.
Well, he's been out since, he hasn't played a game since Origin 3.
Yeah, and he was out before Origin as well.
So he's probably missed, can you check how many games he's missed? Yeah, as I said, like, for the first half of the year, Edwards, would have been one of the best players, or first quarter of the year probably. Hughesy would have been up there, but since then, it's just been all Hughes, in my opinion. For me personally, Hughesy should win Dally M Player of the Year, regardless of... As long as he keeps playing well. Like, if he falls off the face of the earth and then Dylan Edwards comes back and kills it, then Dylan Edwards should win the Dally M. I don't think Cleary's played enough footy to be considered. I know that, like, the argument could be made with the Kalen Ponga situation last year. Like, I personally felt SJ was the best player across the year. But that 10 games was just enough for KP to just go, thanks for coming. And so there's an argument to be made, like the point system is a bit lopsided. Like, it rewards streaks of really good footy rather than whole seasons to a degree. But yeah, I think Hughesy should win it. They're on top of the table. He's been down there. They've been decimated with injury.
Yeah, he's been a stand.
So Edwards has only played 2 games since it went behind closed doors of NRL. Hughes has played 9.
Oh, that's got to get it done.
Oh, far
It's
out.
got to get it
Yeah,
done.
Does Origin doesn't count, does it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So 2 to 9.
It's got to get it done.
Yeah, Hughesy surely gets it done. Jeez, that sucks for Edwards because if he had kept playing, he probably would have bloody won it. Probably would have won it. But yeah, maybe not. Hughesy's been so good.
So good.
Just because he's down in Melbourne.
Even in a game like that, like, not a great game, but he's taken top points.
100% he's taken top points. So yeah, hopefully he wins
Oh,
it.
sorry, that's right. So yeah, Origin doesn't count, but because of Origin, each player's best 23 matches are taken into account, even though you can play more than that. Yeah. I just confused myself. But yeah.
So each player's best 23 matches are taken into account because they may miss games due to Origin.
Yeah.
But he's missed way more. Those 3 games,
Yeah.
basically he's missed 6. 6 on top of the 3 games.
Yeah.
So even if they were to average out, he's still got 6 games that he's missed.
Yeah. I think Hughes will come back for sure.
Yeah, in regards to Storm, I think the Nelson Asafa Solomona situation is always a bit surprising to me because you're like, watch how damaging he was last night, especially in that first half. And like, you have to ask the question, like, why hasn't it been like this for the season? Like, why hasn't he been used like this during the year? It's just surprising to me.
Was he coming after Tane because of what Tane did to Munster on Anzac Day?
I'm not sure.
That's what it seemed.
But there was one moment where Tane kind of got into him a bit.
Right.
So I don't think it takes much to trigger Nelson.
No, not at all.
He's hoping that
What about, because Nelson was just causing so much damage and then Wishart comes onto the field and just dummies to him and everyone goes to him and goes straight through.
Nelson's damage was done mostly off the ball.
Because
Whiten and everyone else was just charging up. There's no way you want to give him a 10-metre runner. And what it was doing for Hughes and the men outside him, even Wishart, it was crazy.
Yeah. And so
They've tried it before, though.
That's what I'm also surprised at is like, we haven't really seen a game like this from Nelson all year long. It's just, that's what surprised me.
Here. But even in the past, they've tried him at second row and it just didn't quite feel right. I was impressed with like his consistency in the engine in that game.
See, I'm not saying to start him on the edge like every game because you're right, they have tried it.
Yeah.
What I mean is like last night it was a game and all you could see was Nelson just tearing, like just skittling blokes.
Yep.
But you haven't really seen that. Like usually, like when in his best year, Nelson's best year, nearly every game, it's like, oh shit, Nelson is skilling blokes. Like until he gets off the field, it is all about Big Nas. Like all the focus on Big Nas. I haven't really felt that this year. Where like until last night, I haven't seen him be like the man when he gets onto the field. He's had a good run here or there, and it makes me wonder: is Bellamy like intentionally holding him back, and he's going to release him on finals footy because he was just like destructive last night, destructive.
And that was, I mean, to your point, that was his first try of the season. Normally
and all it was just a short, like just running hard,
and he nearly got 2.
And that's what I mean. Like we haven't seen that all year long, and so I wonder whether it's a calculated risk that Bellamy is doing, where he's just held him back. Wouldn't
surprise me. To get the best out of Nelson, if you got to tap in here mentally, if you can get him right. So strategically, if they've held him back, unleash the beast a little bit. If Nelson's confidence is sky high, there's no stopping that man.
Yeah.
Literally.
And I just love that now there's this little secret weapon that if strategically used the right way, you chuck him on an edge, look what it can do.
Oh.
You know?
Bro, even if, as I said, you bring him off the bench and chuck him on an edge for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it is panic stations, and rightly so panic stations. Like, that Wishart first run all came off the fact that the entire left side was scared of Nelson's breaking the line. I I thought Wishart's impact was incredible. And the fact that this bloke, he can play 6, but come on, he exchanged for friggin' Josh King. Like, he came on for a front rower.
I know, they kept saying that. I was like, it's just every time they said
it's so weird.
I was like, fuck, yeah.
It's so weird.
I reckon he's been in their top 3 players this year.
So
talk about utility. Like, what a gun.
Unreal.
Mate, at one stage, he had 5 runs for 81 metres as a friggin'...
Can throw a dummy.
I really thought Pappy's try was all effort. And, like, Pappy's, he threw on the inside as Anderson. But, like, I actually wrote down last week how, in my notes, when I was watching the Storm versus Dragons, like, the difference with the Storm is effort. There'll be a kick downfield and everyone gets back. So you've got a kick return with Pappy. He's got Munster outside him, the centre, and the wing. He's basically kick returning with a backline move. No other team does that much work.
I love watching that play. Like, firstly, as to your point, it's very rare that you get the back 3 catching it on the full and they're actually on one side of the field. But the way that you'd have to think they've trained that before. The way that Anderson pulled up, Pappy comes around. If you're a bigger centre or a slower centre, I can watch you out on a kick return because they're going to skin you every time.
Every time. And most of the time on kick chases, like, centres will just switch off.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be running, but they're not actually engaged in what they're doing. And that was all effort. That wasn't because Pappy is super fast or Anderson is incredibly fast or crazy footwork. The reason they scored that try was because they were willing to put the hard yards in before the kick was, as the kick was in the air, and then just completely tore the team apart. Pappy goes through, inside ball to Anderson, and, like, that's the difference with the Storm. Like, when sometimes they may not have the craziest, like, roster on paper, like you got guys like Anderson and that, but they teach them to do the hard work first.
100%.
That's what happens. Like,
I don't know how many fullbacks even actually pass to Anderson and wrap around either.
No way. And also, like, Anderson, they pass Anderson, or he gets it, or whoever, and then he passes to Pappy, but then Anderson is the first one supporting. And also, they were so, like, they'd done so much hard work. I think Pappy had support outside and inside on the kick return. Yeah. So, like, it's just... Like, that's the difference with the Storm. Like, they just do the hard yards. They do the hard yards first all the time. I'll
admit, I fell into the trap last night in the second half going, I'm getting a bit worried about the Storm. But every time you get worried about the Storm over the last decade, they pull your pants down within a week. Yeah. And they've got Penrith this week, which last night I was thinking, man, Penrith, if they play, I mean, obviously if they play like this, but my thought process was Penrith are going to pump them. But then I just cast my mind back to who the Storm are and what they've been the last 10 years. And perfect example, that Roosters game a few weeks ago. And they just came out.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it was only 3 weeks ago where the Storm went down there and Roosters went down there and got absolutely dominated.
She Coates back, I think, as well.
Yeah, which is huge.
Yeah, Coates is back, I think,
You feel for Anderson, but that's like Coates is
what it is.
A freak.
With the Rabbitohs, there's not really that much to talk about. Like, a lot of effort there. It really is just kind of auditioning for next. If there's one thing, it's the 69% completion rate that kills you, especially when you're going up against a Storm. You're never going to beat them unless you complete at a high level. Like, maybe the Rabbitohs from a couple of years ago where everyone's firing and everything's landing and their attack is humming. But the Rabbitohs in the current situation they're in, I just don't know whether they've got the footy in them to do that at a 69% completion rate. Yeah, just a tough night for the Rabbitohs, really. I like that they hung in there. I like Jackie White, and I thought he had a real rip and tear. I felt like he tried his hardest.
That's all he knows, though.
Literally
Seriously.
all he knows.
Yeah.
He ended up running 20 runs, 153 metres, 39 post contact, 4 tackle breaks.
He's always trying.
He's always trying. Every run is like his last run. So I thought he worked his bum off. Good to see Fletcher Myers get the double, the rookie.
Yeah.
He's a South fan, little South fan as a kid.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
Which is nice.
But yeah, in regards to the Storm, just trying to look here, it really is the Hughes show. Like, it's that simple, really. It's the Hughes show at the moment.
It's actually wild how much he still flies under the radar.
The craziness.
It is, isn't it?
Like, I heard you talking about it with Scope on Captain's Run. Like, you just forget about him, but he's one of the best Kiwi players of all time.
Yeah, well, he was a part of a record win against. He's won a premiership from 7 in his. I think it was like his first year at 7, or like year and a half at 7. He won a premiership. He's been to he's done.
And it's his nature too. You said it before, like from you want to call it a personal brand perspective. He's just cruisy, just does his thing, shows up. He's ultra competitive, but he just gets about his business, you know.
So yeah, look, I write the Storm off at your own peril.
Yeah.
I just think that yes, for sure. If you just looked at that in a vacuum, that game, you'd go, Jesus. And also if you included the Dragons one, you'd go, mate, the Storm are just so messy. Like what's happened? But they do this all the time. And it almost might be the flip reverse where they're not peaking too early. Whereas, you know, Bellamy may have learnt the lesson over the last couple of years of, maybe I've peaked the boys a little bit too early. And also, once that Munster Hughes does click, and you did see moments of the Harry Grant, Pappy, Hughes, Munster situation. You did see moments of it clicking around the ruck there, just some really nice, tight, short balls. And it was just like, damn, this is going to be impossible to defend. Okay, Jake Granville to depart the Cowboys after 207 games for the Cowboys. Granville will leave the club after this season. He's expressed an interest to play overseas. Man, what a battler, Granville. Man, and he didn't actually start his NRL career like young. He had to battle through Queensland Cup.
Yeah.
Like so at one stage he was playing like wing. He was definitely not a hooker. I think he was a fullback. I think he started as a fullback, moved all the way into the hooker, which was so weird. It just like seriously pure grit and determination.
Yeah, he's always been solid.
And he was. You go back to that 2015 grand final that they won. He was one of their better players.
Yeah, big impact.
In my opinion, and I'll never veer away from this, he should have won the Clive.
He was unbelievable.
Like Milford was the best player on the field. I reckon you should never give it to a losing team. First 78 minutes had a bad game, and he's admitted it himself. Granville did like a Luke Prittis type hooker performance in a grand final. He should have won the Clive.
Yeah, he was unbelievable in that game. Seriously. And he's the kind of guy that never really got the praise for how good he was. And also, when you talk about, you know, I think a lot of fans, and rightly so, like fans get a bit upset when players, they kind of, I don't want to play this position, or I don't want to play that position, or I want to be here. Granville, anything you asked that bloke, he went and did it.
Great clubman.
Anything. Like front row, mate, I'm on the field, yep, I'll do it. Fullback, yep, sweet, I'm all good.
So this doesn't say his Q Cup things, as you said, but just in his NRL career, obviously 120 games at hooker, 86 off the bench, 7 at lock, 1 in the front row, 1 at centre, and 2 at fullback.
Yeah.
Just no frills.
Yeah.
And he'll just rip and tear from any
100%.
positions. Like just a great clubman and a great bloke too. Such a good guy. Because he was at the Broncos for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really good guy.
Yeah, he debuted at the Broncos, didn't he?
Yeah. So great bloke. Thoroughly deserved, and like 207 games. Like a little fella like that,
so good,
who didn't come out of school as a superstar, wasn't touted as the next big thing, had to work his way through, win him at Queensland Cup. 207 games for the Cowboys.
Go tear up the Super
And then
League,
it would actually be more than that, wouldn't it? Be like,
if you count his 10 for the Broncos, I'll check
whatever
it
it
exactly.
was.
Yeah, that's
like
217.
Only a very small percentage of people do that, and Jakey Granville did it. Like, so good on him. Good on him.
Wow, that was a guess, but it was bang on 10.
Yeah. Okay. KO. All 8 games are live and ad-free during play on KO. Some key games this week: Titans, Sharks, Raiders, Manly, Cowboys, Broncos. Exclusive Vox League available on KO. And as I said, guys, don't forget, if you're going to buy the pay-per-view, Israel Adesanya versus Duplessis, just go to our link because the KO legends are sending me over on Monday night. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And that's all thanks to you guys. So thank you so much, the audience. And I genuinely mean that. Like, I feel so fucking lucky, so lucky. Wayne Bennett and Jack Gibson were confirmed to be the first coaches inducted to the NRL Hall of Fame. Yesterday was announced that referees Billy Harrigan, I just said Billy, I don't know why I said that, Bill Harrigan and Cole Pearce will be inducted. Ken Arthurson, John Quayle, Frank Hyde, and David Morrow will also be inducted for their contributions. The official ceremony will take place on August 21st, and it will include 11 male players, 6 female players, along with the previously mentioned. The Hall of Fame, did that get started up a couple of years ago?
I think I'll check. I think it got like kind of rebooted up.
Yeah, I like the Hall of Fame.
It's a must.
Because you can't just have, like, Immortal needs to be totally kept for, like, the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And
the 1%.
The, like, 0.00001%. Whereas Hall of Fame, like, there needs to be a place for players that are GOATs, but just not that life-changing, but they deserve recognition for what they did for the game. Like Bill Harrigan. He's one of the best. He deserves recognition.
Yeah. And I always reference American sports. They've been doing this for years and they do it well, but we need something to acknowledge these people. And look, what a great reflection to start with two coaches, Gibson and Bennett. Like,
mate.
Doesn't get much better.
Yeah, so it's been players this whole time. So obviously they've revamped it and they've added the 2 refs, the 2 coaches, plus the 4 kind of off-field people. But like players like Freddie, Joey, Webke, Lockyer, Badira, Stewart, Tallis, like they're all in it.
Yeah.
What are they getting? They get jackets.
They get. I remember when Bedsy got his. They get like this jacket with this silver crest badge thing on it, and then the Immortal gets like a gold one.
What colour's the jacket?
Oh, I think it was navy, but I'll check.
Oh, that's gotta be. Come on, neutral colour.
Yeah, well,
come on.
It's gotta be like the gold jacket, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can't be blue.
It might have been black. Let me check.
Jesus, I tell you what, that'd be a kick in the teeth to us bloody Queenslanders. Hall of Fame jackets being blue.
Sorry, my apologies. It was black. It was black.
Jesus, I was going to say, come on.
Sorry, Bedsy was wearing a navy tie. That's what it was. Yeah.
So I love it. I think it's great, especially the referees part of it. I think that's good too.
Yeah.
The game wouldn't be there without the referees. All right, boys, time for an algo check. Time for the algo check. Sandor, speak to me, mate. What's the algo looking like?
Look, obviously...
Algorithm for the new listeners?
Yeah, well, we've spoken about some of the things that are getting... that we're loving this week, which is the Olympics. But I will say, just to stay on theme and on trend, we've had another incident. You guys might have seen it in the pole vault. Another budgie smuggler incident.
This guy.
Now... I just want to raise that it's gone one step further. It's one thing to be acknowledged by the boys on a Friday arvo. But the French lad who's knocked off the stick with his unit has been offered a role in an upcoming adult film. There's some people are saying it's offensive, but I think good on him. I'm taking it as a compliment.
That's a massive compliment.
Yeah, dived into that little algorithm and it's interesting.
What's your algorithm?
I'm done.
Is the baguette?
I think I'm done.
Holy.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I won't lie. Like, that's popped up all over my feed as well.
Thank you.
I tell you what,
you fucking disgusting humans, eh?
My algorithm actually looks like what Sandor's probably mostly looks like, because I'm trying not to be a piece of shit. So I'm trying to like eat healthy. So I've been looking up all these like healthy protein recipes.
So it's big hogs and food. That's your algorithm.
Yeah.
Protein and hogs.
Yeah, protein and hogs. Hey, whatever floats your boat, baby.
Yeah, and obviously all the Olympic stuff too, but that's the kind of new addition to the
Have you
feed.
actually attempted to make any?
Yes.
Oh.
I've been making these like McMuffin things, which is like extra lean beef, egg, cheese on like toast on the
Matty McMuffin.
On the McMuffin.
Matty McMuffin,
so it tastes good, but it's still like reasonably
hogs and McMuffins. Hey, baby, 2024, Matty, whatever you want. It's all good. It's all love, baby. It's all love. My algorithm's been a bit of a mess actually lately. Obviously, Olympics. A little bit of House of the Dragon that had a finale, and most people are saying the finale was really disappointing. I'm in the minority. I loved it. And I'm pretty like on board with what the people are feeling, at the very least in the content that I consume. They usually reflect. That's why it's an algo thing. They usually reflect how I feel about something to a degree. Now, like they might think it's an 8 out of 10, I might think it's a 9, or I might think it's a 7 out of 10. They might think it's a 9. But this is the first time where the crowd or the community in which I consume the content, everyone is fully disappointed, and I'm like, mate, I loved it. I thought it was mad, and it's you know what's actually frustrating, because it's like so frustrating. It almost makes me want to leave a comment and be like,
do it.
This is why I disagree with what you're saying.
Have you done this? Answer me honestly. Have you ever written a comment, like gone in? It doesn't have to be having a go at someone, but written a full comment as like, no, I want to say my piece, and then gone, you fucking idiot, and then deleted the comment?
I'll tell you what I have done.
I did it the other day.
Exactly that. I've written a comment. The amount of times I'm about to write a comment, and then I'll either post it and delete it straight away because I'm like, I can't do that anymore, because I even think about creating just a random profile that's not me.
Yeah, that's the go.
Because then I can just express myself. Because I'm not trying to be a hero or anything. I just want to be a part of the masses. Like, I just want to be like a part of the masses and say my piece, and like I just want to be a part of the community.
Yeah.
But like if I say something, then people see that. Like, I mean, even on the Hello Sports show the other day, when the boys were like, "Oh, you logged into your your Diablo at like 3 o'clock in the morning," and I'm just like, "What the?" Like, I just let me blend in. So yeah,
That's so funny.
and so like I have.
You could get away with it like a full parody account. People wouldn't even know, and you could run it.
Yeah, just run a parody account. But I did. Even on this situation, I did leave the comment. I did leave a comment on underneath the dudes. And to be fair, this guy is Australian that reviews. His name's it's called The Night's Watch on YouTube. No one in that community would know who I was, but on the small chance that they did, and that got back to the P's and D's or whatever, it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So I actually did leave the comment, and it wasn't having a crack or anything. It was just like, no, I actually think that the finale was good because they've only got 8 episodes, and in the span of time, like when we go back and look at the 4 seasons that are released, you don't want to rush things just because the finale is now. Because basically, people felt like it wasn't a finale episode, but the problem is for House of the Dragon is that A, there was a writer's strike when they were doing this show, and B, the HBO or whoever didn't give them 10 episodes. And so like when you're watching it, you can tell that there was probably supposed to be 2 more episodes in it, but they didn't have writers to do it because there's a writer's strike. And also they didn't get those extra 2 from HBO. And so watching it, like when people get frustrated, they're like, oh, we're going to wait 2 more years and nothing crazy happened in the finale. But like in my head, I'm sitting there going, what? So you would rather them rush everything to squeeze it into that last episode and ruin the story as a whole just because you want fireworks now? I see it more like, no, let's be patient. Okay, yes, we didn't get the crazy battle we all thought we were going to get, but in the long term, we get the better story because it's going to build up properly rather than rushing it just so that I get the gratification now. Anyway, so yeah.
Delayed gratification, very important, bro.
Well, but also like, it's a story that needs to be told well. And so when you finish it, you're going to be like, thank God they didn't squeeze it all in to make me feel good for that one episode. By the end of it, you're going to be like, that is like the story that's being told, it's 4 seasons. So like it's not just 2 seasons then it ends, it's 4 seasons. So you want it to be the best it possibly can be spread out across those 4 seasons. Anyway, so yes, I have posted things and deleted them straight away, 100%.
Mine's in the health and fitness space. So I see some things, I'm like, no, I'm going to have my opinion. I sit there, take my time, get all my wording right, articulate, and I go, get over yourself. You're going to get hammered. Instagram professors are going to be all over you.
And also you're someone. You're someone as well. Like you've played professional last sport, and you got
to be on. If you're going to go make a statement, you got to be
on. But it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
And so, yeah, it's more just like, you just so I've definitely at times been like, should I create a fake account so that I can, because that's enjoyable part of being. Yeah. That's the enjoyable part of being a part of a community, that you can converse with like-minded people as just another person that enjoys something. And so I've definitely thought about creating a fake account on YouTube so that I can communicate, and I could be wrong, like my opinion could be wrong and whatever, but that's the fun of consuming the content and being part of a community, is that you just talk about it.
For a moment there, I actually get why people do it. I actually understand.
100%.
It is fun, but yeah.
In the small chance though that someone saw that I'd commented on it, and like, as I said, bro, I'm on the Hello Sports show. Oh, sorry, I'm on the DMP the other day, and the boys were like, "Oh, were you playing Diablo at 3 a.m?" And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, well, they were like, well, we've got a little birdie that says that you came online at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Is it true?
And then no, it's not true for one. But the fact that they knew that you can come online means that they do have someone, or someone has let them know, messaged them that I do have, it's called Battle.net for Diablo. So I would have come online in the past and they would have seen it and they would have told the boys.
Yeah.
And so if that's not sacred, you
got no chance.
What is sacred? I'll start doing dummy accounts. So weird. So I think I genuinely think I might create a dummy account so that I can comment on stuff on YouTube, I think. Just to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of it.
Same.
Because as I said, the House of the Dragon, I understand, but I don't mind stuff being slow as long as it's engaging and there's genuine stuff happening. It just doesn't have to be a battle. But a lot of people were disappointed. So it's the first time I've had experience being in the tiny minority where I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great finale.
It would have been a great moment for the parody account.
Oh, great moment. But yeah, it was a great. I thought it was all things considered that they had 8 episodes. Everything that happened in the episode, there were 1 or 2 things I disagreed with, but that's normal. Nothing's perfect. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I love House of the Dragons. I think it's friggin' House of the Dragon. I think it's an incredible TV series. There you go. That's my algo. That's my algo check. Alrighty, boys. Don't forget, guys, give us a follow on the feed on Sportsbet. And we've got the Bloke in a Bar multi, Legends multi, that you can just copy, and that'll get you $20. I'll do it before the show ends, so it'll be up, ready to go once you hear this. Titans v the Sharkies. What are you going here?
Oh, I'm going to go Sharks.
You know what? Sharks started the week as favourites. Now Titans are $1.50.
Wow.
I think Titans are going to win, and I think I said Monday 13+. I still think they'll win, but the Sharks are 220 or 230, whatever is crazy.
I've gone Sharks, so if you go to my feed, you'll be able to get there. I'm just going to read you my bets that I've done for the tips this week.
Yep.
So I've gone Sharks with the line. Like, Sharks have proven they can upset teams without Trindle and Hines. They beat
Melbourne.
They beat Melbourne Storm. And also, like, the Titans have been great. They haven't been, like, world beaters. No. Like, I'm caught up in the Titans' hype for sure. But,
same.
Let's not pretend like they're in the top 8 or anything like that right now.
If the Titans come out and have a terrible game tonight, no one's going to be shocked.
No one will be shocked.
No.
And so I've gone Sharkies with the line for sure. I just got to get the line up here. It's 5.5, which is like, Sharkies with the line, surely. Anyway, so I'm going Sharkies with the line. Okay, next game. Para Eels versus Penrith.
Oh,
Penrith.
Yeah, look, I know the Para have great record, but without Moses.
Nah.
Canberra versus Manly.
Yeah, I'm going the Eagles.
I'm going Eagles, but could be a danger game.
Yeah, I agree.
Cowboys versus Broncos. I've gone Broncos with the line, 7.5. So this is my multi on my feed that you can copy. I've gone Broncos with the line, 7.5. Murray Talangi and Dean Mara anytime try scorer gets you $8.
Ooh, that's
Broncos with the line and 2 wingers, $8. It's not bad.
Yeah. I reckon the Bronx could definitely win. It's not like 2020 where they literally just shit the bed for the whole year and got the spoon. Like, they made the grand final last year. I know they've been terrible. I know they've got injuries and all that, but
surely at least a close game.
A close game, lads.
Yeah.
North Queensland.
It's up there.
Like, head to head, my head says probably Cowboys get the job done. But with the line of 7.5.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going Cowboys, but I would take the line.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Shaky's line. Okay, now on to Dolphins, Warriors.
Dolphins.
I reckon actually Warriors, just because of the SJ thing.
Yep, I've gone Warriors.
Yeah.
I've gone head to head. I've gone Warriors. It's paying $2.88. $2.88. The Dolphins against the Dolphins, the Warriors are paying
$2.88.
$2.88.
That's lovely.
Well, that's what I got them for.
Wow.
That's what I got them for.
It's got to be a big game for the boys.
I didn't think it'd be that big.
So right now, I'll just get it up with because I got it for $2.88. Yep, it's $2.88 still. Dolphins are paying $1.42.
That's not backable for me. I'm tipping Warriors. I'm tipping Warriors. So
yeah, I'm tipping Warriors too.
Great
I reckon
value.
SJ retiring. Plus, also their season technically is still.
Yeah.
and if any team can fire up over something, it's the Warriors.
100%.
And then you got Newcastle Knights versus the Tigers.
Knights.
Yeah.
Also, we missed the big one.
Yeah, we missed. Sorry, Dragons beat the Doggies.
So excited for that.
What I've gone, and it's purely value bet.
Yeah.
Dragons 13+, Flano ambush.
Wow.
Flano ambush. Now, I don't actually, this is value bet. This is not actually what I think. There's a part of me that thinks this could happen for sure.
What a derby. Isn't this going to be a crack?
If I was going to punt with my head, I'd going to say it's going to be a close game. But I don't know, Flano, I know they're up and down, really inconsistent, but where every time you think he can't do something crazy, he does something crazy.
13+ sounds crazy, and I'm tipping the Dogs, but if they win 13+, it'll be something like 20-6. It's not like they're going to pump them.
No.
So it could happen for sure.
It's a value bet. So it's paying $5.10, which isn't too crazy.
No.
But I just said Flano ambush, maybe, question mark. That's what my, So I'm not that confident, but that's what I've gone.
Maybe.
Putting a question mark in the thing.
In regards to head, just purely, not punting or whatever, I think the Doggies.
Yeah, I got Doggies.
Oh, I'm tipping Doggies, yeah.
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 But yeah, that is, we've done everyone now?
That's it.
Alrighty, done and dusted. Don't forget, give us a follow on the feed and get into your local Grouse Hill air locker, or if you've got an air locker near you, get down to your air locker and train at altitude. And as usual, I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.